Prime Minister, honorable ministers, members of parliament, there His Grace the Archbishop Paul Somogere, we congratulate you on your nomination and installation. His Grace the Deputy Mufti, all our visitors from Congo, our brothers, karibu sana wa Congo, Wakongomani karibu sana nyumbani hapa. Tunawakaribisha. And ladies and gentlemen, members of the armed forces, commanders and militants, I would like to use this day of the 36th year since NRM came into government to congratulate all the members of the NRM and all the Ugandans on this day. Congratulations. We fought for very serious reasons, and that's why on this occasion some limited report should be given as to what has been achieved. The economy of Uganda now will be $44 billion in July. When we started, it was only $1.5 billion. This means that the economy has grown 29 times since that time in size. And in July, the GDP per capita will be about $980. In this Sanja, we shall definitely achieve it because we are near. This one we have been developing in spite of the increase in the population. Because in 1986, population was on about 14 million. It is now 44.2 million. However, I'm not satisfied with this level of growth. It is high time to rapidly develop to high middle income status, not just low middle income status. I do not fully agree with our planners who keep talking of these rates of growth of 7%, 6%, 8%. We can grow rapidly to a much higher level. Why do I say this? I say this because some of the people have already achieved high middle income status at individual, homestead, or even area level. You find some areas of Uganda which are already in the high middle income level. I will for instance, take the example of the group near Fort Portal in the Rengaju parish, led by Mr. Nyakana. Nyakana and the group are now earning 240 million shillings per year from just, I think, 2 acres or 1 acre. 240 million shillings a year. Now, that if you put it in dollars, that's about $66,000. If you assume members, then the per capita is $13,000 per person in those families. Now, if all of us were to wake up and follow what we have been telling you, just using agriculture alone, not taking into account the other sectors, because here I'm talking about just agriculture, our economy will not be 40-something billion dollars. It will be $586 billion. It will be more than $500 billion, which is approaching countries like Turkey and so on. So therefore, on this occasion, this is what I'm demanding from especially the NRM leaders. We should not just go on being called leaders when we are leading nobody, when we are not leading nobody anywhere, just running around. If Nyakana and his group can achieve it, why not everybody else who has got land especially? I'm going to launch, I think tomorrow, I will launch the parish model, development model. This is what I will demand from all those involved. We cannot go on talking of this minimalist approach. We must take advantage of the full potential of the economy of Uganda. And in order to do this, I need to remind you of the way forward, the way we have been advising you for years now. The sectors of wealth creation are 4. From where you can get wealth and jobs. Sector 1, agriculture. This alone can push us to the middle income, to the high, not low, but high middle income level. And in agriculture here, we need to be clear about the 2 modes of commercial production. One mode, intensive agriculture, where you use a small area to get high. In 2018, when I made a countrywide tour, I gave you a detailed guidance on this. It is written in a booklet entitled 4 sectors, 7 areas, 7 activities. Number 1, an acre of coffee, high Kololo coffee. Number 2, an acre of fruits, selected fruits, which you know. Acre 3, dairy farming, pasture, for dairy, for zero grazing. Acre 4 for food crop for the family. Whatever you want to grow, cassava, whatever. In the backyard, poultry for eggs. Pigs. And those who are near fish farming. I've told our people to look at other activities like vegetables, because I have not done the calculation there myself. But these are the ones we recommend for the people who have got 4 acres or less. Now, for the people with more land, more flexibility, because these 7 are not the only things we need in Uganda. We need cotton for our textile factories. We need tobacco, those who want to destroy their lungs. We must arrange for them also, so that they destroy their lungs using at least our local tobacco. Maize. We need maize. Maize is very important for very many other things. Sugar cane, avocado, tea. These are crops from which you cannot get enough money if you grow them in a small area. The country needs them, so they must be grown. But they must be grown by somebody who has got more land than the 4 acres. So here, we are talking of extensive agriculture. Therefore, please, intensive agriculture, we cannot go on beating about the bush. Just empty talk, without giving clear guidance, research guidance to the people. Make the people make mistakes because you don't give them enough guidance, because you have not done any research. You are just running up and down without any research. So that is sector 1. And that's where we can push the country to high middle income country just using agriculture alone. But agriculture alone cannot sustainably move if you don't add industry to add value, to process the fruits, process the cotton, process the milk, or process the tea, process the coffee, all those need to be processed. So that is sector two. Then services, tourism, hospitality. I was watching on TV, our grandchildren are now really drinking, that we have opened, they are just drinking like mad. So the drunkards are very happy now. That is all services. And then finally, ICT. So therefore, this time, I'm normally polite and talk, hoping that people will pick by themselves, especially the leaders. But this time, I'm really going to people, because we are wasting a lot of time. We want Uganda to be a high, not just a low-level middle-income country, which we shall achieve for sure in 1 or 2 years. But to be high middle-income economy. We're already moving, because not only are we moving in agriculture, of course now we have a lot of products already. We have a lot of surplus of milk, surplus of maize, surplus of bananas, sugar, and so on. These are already in surplus. But we need more, and we shall be able to market them either within Uganda or in the region or internationally. Some people are talking of surplus maize. What shall we do with the maize? What shall we do with the sugar? The answers are there. If there is no region, but our people, and I'm confident we can do this, because why? Because our people are now educated. The literacy rate is now 77%. All the children, many of the children in the villages are literate. But we have also got high-level scientists. So we are going to new areas of the economy, like the vehicle industry, the automotive industry. We are making our own buses now, our own cars, the electric car, making our own pickups, assembling all sorts of things here. The pathogenic economy, the one of vaccines and medicines. The literacy rate is now 77%. All those, many of the children in the villages are moving there, are literate. And in the other agro-processing industry, we have also got high-level scientists processing food. So we are going to new fibers, areas like cotton, of the economy. So to produce automotive industry, we are making our own buses now, our own paper, instead of cars, paper, the electric from bamboo, for instance, electric car, making our own trees. The journey forward economy is going to be serious, one of intense, but also vaccines, profitable, and medicines. Now in the services sector is now 77%. Now that all the children, the corona in the villages are moving there, has gone down. Literate. And in the other agro-processing industry, we have also got high-level scientists processing food. So we are going to new
Fiber
areas
like
of
cotton
the
palm.
economy. The entertainment, I saw them last night, they were really entertaining themselves. So to produce automotive industry, we are making our own buses now, our own paper, industry, our own cars, paper, and so from bamboo, for instance, so electric car. This is the time now to go on another level of high, intense, middle income, vaccines level. Profitable. Target an economy of $500 billion, not just medicines. Now the services sector is now 77%. Now that all the corona is there. Unfortunately, we are negotiating with our brothers in Africa that we are going to high level African food, continental market. So we are going to new areas like cotton market. The entertainment, I saw them last night, they were really entertaining themselves. So to produce automotive industry, we are making our own buses now, our own paper, industry, our own cars, paper, and so from bamboo, for instance, electric car. This is the time now to go on another level of high, intense, middle income, vaccines level. Profitable. Target an economy of $500 billion, not just medicines. Now the services sector is now 77%. Now that all the corona is there. Unfortunately, we are negotiating with our brothers in Africa that we are also going to high level food, continental market. So we are going to new areas like cotton market. The entertainment, I saw them last night, they were really entertaining themselves. So to produce automotive industry, we are making our come breastfeeding in the school. That one we shall again discuss quietly among ourselves. But what I can tell you straight away, what I will not agree to, whatever happens, is to condemn a child not to continue with her education because she got pregnant once. That one I cannot accept. I cannot accept. It is neither logical nor certainly religious. Because if the child had a problem or made a mistake, you cannot condemn her for all her life. So the rest, that one is the minimum. But I hear the religious leaders seem to be agreed on that. The only issue is about these other two, the breastfeeding and the rutundu, coming with the rutundu there in the classroom. That one I cannot accept. I don't want to give my views on that because I want to hear the views of all. But for the going back to school, the children will go back to school, to the government schools. They will go back because you cannot, if mature entrants, abakaikuru, abakaire, if they can go back to school and study when they are in their 40s, 50s, why can't the child go back to school and study after she has had a problem? But should she go with the rutundu? That one we shall discuss. Should she go breastfeeding? That one we shall discuss. But anyway, what was amazing for Al Jazeera and BBC was that in the lockdown, the only thing they were talking about were children who got pregnant. Bambi, these countries are really in trouble. They have got so much poor leadership. You pity them. What sort of people are these? People are dying and we're just talking about only this one. And they don't bring out that Uganda, because of the lockdown, they succeeded in minimizing the death. They don't talk about. They only talk about children who got pregnant. So I congratulate Ugandans. Thank you so much for passing the test. This was a test. This was a test, and we passed it reasonably well. Now, finally, as you can see, I'm glad that our brothers from Congo are here, from DRC. We are working together to stop that little problem of ADF. ADF is nothing. We shall defeat them. We defeated them here. They were from here. We defeated them. The NRM coin were here. We defeated them. So they go to kill our brothers and sisters in Congo. They once in a while they come and plant bombs here and kill some sheikhs. That one we. So I want to thank His Excellency President Tshisekedi for having us, allowed us to work with our brothers to finish that little problem. These children, these young children who had joined the ADF, they had got spoiled. 20 years killing people, looting people's things. You can imagine in Congo, that part of Congo, people there are very hardworking. They grow cocoa. They grow cocoa, among other things. So what was happening? They harvest the cocoa and sell it and get money. And they had business agents in the towns there, Beni, Goma, even here in Uganda, they had business agents who were selling the stolen coffee for them. to get money, to live a good life, to send to their families, but also to buy materials to make bombs and so on. And also minerals, digging minerals and selling them. So we are working with the Congo government. It is easier to defeat these groups. It's not all that big problem. We have a long experience in doing it, and we shall defeat them. But you can see the problem which is happening now in more parts of Africa. The problem in West Africa started with the attack on Libya by the people. You remember I talked of some people on the inauguration here. I talked about some people who couldn't listen to Africa. They attacked Libya, and all the terrorist groups which were in Libya now spread out. In the whole of what they call the Sahel, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. Now, I would like to really invite the African people, leaders, to sit down and we exchange views on how to build strength in Africa. We have some experience here. We can share it with others. Otherwise, what's happening now is going to take us back, because the civilian leaders failed to build strength, to build, for instance, strong armies. Then the terrorists come and take over the country. Then there is a military coup, like the ones which have happened in Guinea and Mali and now recently in Burkina Faso. Now, those soldiers are not accountable to anybody. Nobody elects them. So how can they do a better job? You remember what was happening here in the 1960s with Idi Amin and so on, wasting time. We wasted a lot of time. Idi Amin wasted our 8 years. All the things, many of the things we were planning, you had to be abandoned. For instance, you remember by 1971, we had the East African Community, and it was moving well. With Mzayobo was about to join the East African Community, Zambia. Even Somalia had applied. Now Idi Amin comes in. The community breaks up completely. So after 16 years of now having sorted out all that problem, that's when we come and bring back the community and so on and so forth. Now, DRC has now come in. We are beginning, but we would have been very far if Idi Amin had not wasted our time. But all these issues are easy to, can be dealt with. I don't want to say easy because I don't know why people. But here, we have built some strength for sure. We have 6,000 soldiers in Somalia. They have done some limited work there because of the people we work with. We work with people who don't want to go far. They want to half cultivate the garden. They don't want the whole garden to be cultivated. They live Urumbugu there. Why don't you uproot all this Urumbugu? Okay. Ati tunakolaki. Tubereyo mu Mogadishu tulima Urumbugu uri awo mu town. Katuli olumbugu oli elimunda oluleke katusigareyo. So we are there, but we were able at least to deal with the towns in Mogadishu. And when His Excellency Tshisekedi allowed us, we were able to move. And we are going to move now. What we did was first phase, we call it first phase. They really got punishment to those criminals. Tebawulira ngoko muliro ngogo wetwabasumulula. Ate n'okumanya tebamanyi. You know, this is the whole problem of Africa. Abantu abatalina kye bamanyi babeera awo ne befuula ng'abalina kye bamanyi. Kati buno obwana okugenda waliwo kampu ekikampi kyabwe kiri awo bali bakiyita kambi ya Yuwa. N'obeera awo simanyi kilomita meka kuva ku nsalo ya Uganda newefuula awo n'okolerawo efujjo n'otamanya nti lumu Katonda alikiriza Uganda n'ekusaanyaawo. Tebumanyi, they don't know. They don't know what war means. They talk about war, they don't know what war means. They don't even know how to fight. But Africa should not allow those novices to disturb our peace and our agenda. We shall get in touch with the West African leaders and see how to harmonize our thinking. So, with these few words, again I congratulate the Ugandans, the NRM people, on the 36 years of NRM management of the country, but even more on the earlier years of the struggle, which you persecuted very well. Some of the correspondents in Uganda are beginning to be serious. I was reading some articles in Monitor. Monitor never nange taliso kuandika ebiri mu amagezi. Monitor mugimanyi? Monitor omusajja buli eyo bubadde bukola ebitotegerekeka naye kati olwaleero ndabite Katonda gyali. Monitor newandiika ebiri mu amagezi. In one page, I think it is, the inside page, I think it is 32 or 42, 32. I don't have time to. They were writing, you should go and read it. But I found it interesting. There's a boy called Faustin Mugabe. Mugabe yani. Awandika bulijjo. Now, he was writing in that supplement there inside, the recovery of the industry in Uganda. And he was talking about soap. Maybe I can see it. Let me see when I can see it. Bolava monitor ne wandi sekiruma magezi omanya nti Katonda n'ateera okujja. Oh, I may follow it, and away. On a page, on the supplements, page Roman 32. If you are Roman, abaroma bawandikanga xxx, that means x is 10. Awozibeera bwe zibeera esatu zibeera asatu mu bbiri. Kati oyo omwami Mugabe, when the National Resistance Movement government came to power in January 86, production was very low. In the manufacturing section, all the factories were running after half capacity and below. Crop production was equally very low. But in the first 366 days under the NRM government, a lot of growth was recorded in production and exports, partially as a result of the peace restoration by the NRM government. Below are some of the records from production and exports of some crops extracted from the 1988-89 National Budget Report. Kati olaba kati monitor naye wandiika ebirimu egezi. Kino kyakwewuunya nno. Oba Katonda akyaddeyo simanyi. Kati ne bawandiika soap production. Soap, sabuni, was one of the most scarce essential goods in Uganda when the NRM government came to power. In 1986, only 3,292 tons of soap, both for bathing and washing, was produced. But the following year, 15,879 tons were produced in the sole manufacture factory owned under Mukwano Industries in Kampala. So, soap production went from 3,000 tons a year to 16,000 tons. Monitor everyone is saying no. Kati bw'olaba ente eyogera ng'omuntu. Omanye nti Katonda azze. Kati owa monitor bw'avudde ku sabuni n'agenda ku batamiivu. Before 1986 and shortly thereafter, beer and soft drinks were often smuggled into the country from neighboring Kenya. Beer and soda. Beer and sodas were smuggled into Uganda because production in the factories was far less than the capacity production because of poor factory equipment, which often broke down and lacked spare parts, or because of poor management of the company. But with improved security in the country, beer production in the country was reportedly increased from 6.6 million liters in 1986 to 16.4 million the following year. Oyo ye monitor awandiise bino. Naye abiwandiise abijja mu mpapula za gavumenti eza budget ez'obudde obwo. N'olwekyo we have moved very well, but we need to move much more aggressively. We cannot be content with remaining where we are. With these few words, I congratulate you and I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency the President, for that address to the nation and those important words of encouragement, hope for peace, security, and socio-economic transformation of the country. At this juncture, Your Excellency, I request you permit us invite the Master of Ceremonies of the Chancery to request you to award honors to different categories of personalities as will be presented by the Master of Ceremonies of the Chancery. Major General George Igumbasa, Chief of Personnel and Administration of the APDF, and Master of Ceremonies of the Chancery. You're welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda and Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, Her Excellency, the Vice President, His Lordship, the Chief Justice, Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers and Ministers of State, Their Excellencies, the Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Honorable Members of Parliament, Service Chiefs, Their Worship, the religious leaders, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Your Excellency, I'm Major General George Igumba, the Master of Ceremonies for the Chancery, to run you through this last part of today's celebrations as per law established. In accordance to Section 3, Part 2 of the National Honors and Awards Act of 2001, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda has awarded medals to 50 persons at the 36th NRM Victory Anniversary celebrations. The medals are the 50th National Independence Medal, the Nalubale Medal, the Luwero Triangle Medal, and the Special Service Police Medal. The names of the 50 awardees were duly considered by the Presidential Awards Committee, comprising of 10 members, chaired by Dr. Beatrice Wabdea and Hajat Malole Zamina as Secretary to the committee. The awardees have been categorized as follows. 50th National Independence Medal, there are 29. Nalubale Medal, only 1 person. Luwero Triangle Medal, 4 persons. And Special Service Police Medals, 16 persons. Now, award of the National Independence Medal. As per Section 3.2, Second Schedule, Part 1 of the National Honors and Awards Act of 2001, the National Independence Medal is awarded in recognition of outstanding service and loyalty to the country from 9th October 1962 to 9th October 2012. And on the list are Professor Patrick Engeo Ogwang. Professor Patrick Engeo Ogwang possesses a PhD in pharmacy and pharmacology from Makerere University. He is a renowned researcher in herbal medicines, head of pharmacy and senior lecturer at Mbarara University of Science and Technology, and a former executive member of the Pharmaceutical Society of Uganda. Professor Patrick Engeo Ogwang is the founder of the herbal remedy Covidex, a supportive COVID-19 treatment. He is also the leading researcher of Biotrack that produced a sanitizer, FarmSan, in response to curbing down COVID-19, served as the research officer at the Natural Chemotherapeutics Research Institute, Ministry of Health, Uganda. Next on the list is Dr. Joseph Brown Chigula Mugambe. Dr. Mugambe is a specialist radiologist and worked at Mulago Referral Hospital, Department of Radiology, from 1984 to 1985. He started the radiotherapy in Mulago that has saved lives of cancer patients. He is a director, X-Ray Care and Ultrasound Center Limited, and a member of the Atomic Energy Council from 2009 to date. He's the chairman, board of directors, Cancer Platform, Uganda Limited, Kampala. He was a senior consultant, radiation oncologist, and head Department of Radiotherapy, Mulago National Referral and Teaching Hospital from 2004 to 2014, where he transformed the department to the use of radiology. Next is Professor Musoke Philippa. Professor Philippa Musoke has pediatric specialty training and child health in the School of Medicine at Makerere University College of Health Sciences. In addition, she's the site principal investigator for the Makerere University Johns Hopkins University Clinical Research site in Kampala, Uganda. Professor Musoke is board certified in pediatric infectious diseases and has been conducting clinical trials in perinatal HIV prevention and childhood tuberculosis since 1995, and implementing studies, programs for pediatric antiretroviral therapy in resource-limited settings. Next is Dr. Joseph Epodoi. Dr. Joseph Epodoi was the lead surgeon of the team working at Soroti Hospital, when we are faced with a conjoined baby girl twins, one was dead and second life was attached to the decomposed sister, who was a stillbirth. They were referred to Soroti Regional Referral Hospital. However, on assessment, they were further referred to Mulago National Referral Hospital for better management. Mulago apparently had no capacity to help the baby attached to a dead one, sharing a liver, chest, wall, and etc., and at risk of being poisoned. The family finally returned to Soroti, and true to the Hippocratic oath he took at Makerere University years ago, Dr. Joseph Epodoi assembled the team and went into theater to separate the twins. 5 hours later, Epodoi emerged, having successfully separated the live baby from the one that had been dead for 6 days. Dr. Joseph Epodoi's team, other members, are Dr. Namugenyi Josephine, medical officer, Dr. Reverend Sister Ajiko, Mary Margaret, consultant surgeon, Dr. Ntege Joan, a medical officer, Dr. Ochen Innocent, an intern doctor, Dr. Nakawesa Amina, intern doctor, Dr. Alarokel Florence, senior consultant, pediatrician, Dr. Nakuburwa Claire, medical officer, Mr. Kim Jackson Moding, senior anesthetist officer, Mr. John Guma Ambaga, senior anesthetist officer, Mrs. Zenaida Chitui, anesthetic officer, Sister Chivetenga Medrin, recovery nurse, Sister Alekat Sarah, recovery nurse, Sister Ajulong Jennifer, instrument nurse, Mr. Ebwalu Daniel, theater nurse, and last but not least, Sister Ajok Margaret, a recovery nurse. Next on the list, Your Excellency, is Professor Monica Chip, and Master of Arts in Strategic Communication. In May 2019, Uganda Christian University promoted Dr. Monica Balia Chibita to the rank of full professor in recognition of her body of work. As of May 2020, the United Kingdom Top Journalism Board appointed Professor Monica to be part of the board, becoming the second black woman to make it to the board. She is also the second professor of journalism in Uganda, after Professor Goretti Linda Nasanga of Makerere University. Dr. Chibita is the chairperson of the board of directors of the New Vision Printing and Publishing Company. Next is Dr. Catherine Nakalembe. She's a Ugandan scientist working with the National Aeronautics and Space Agency of the United States of America as the Africa Program Director in the National Aeronautics and Space Harvest Program. She is a food security laureate with a master's degree from Johns Hopkins University. She has a PhD in geographical science, and her research aimed to highlight the consequences of the drought on land use and on the lives of northeastern Ugandans, which was the first step in forming the basis for the remote sensing element of the disaster risk financing project, which has supported over 75,000 households in the region since its inception, saving the Uganda government resources that would otherwise go towards emergency assistance. Her remote sensing and machine learning technology has supported agriculture and food security across Africa. She has conducted research in remote sensing of drought, agriculture, and leading the integration of Earth observations in agricultural monitoring of smallholder agriculture and multiple countries. Next, Your Excellency, is Perus Chemtai. She took up running in 2013 after attending the district athletics champions in Buko as a casual fan. At the 2015 Commonwealth Youth Games in Apia, she won silver medals in the 1,500 meters and 3,000 meters. She won the gold medal at the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo in the women's 3,000 meters steeplechase race, becoming the first Ugandan woman ever to win an Olympic medal. Next is Chipulimo Jacob, a Ugandan long-distance runner who competes in track running events. He is the 2020 half marathon world champion and represented Uganda at the 2016 Summer Olympics. At age of 16, Jacob Chipulimo produced a performance of a lifetime to win gold in the men's under-20 race at the 2017 International Amateur Athletes Association. On 17 September 2020, Chipulimo won a Diamond League 3,000-meter run in Rome, the fastest 3,000-meter since Kenenisa's in August 2017. Chiplimo's time is the 8th fastest time ever. Next, Your Excellency, is Mr. Mawere Charles. Mawere Charles is a model cassava farmer who distributes free cassava stems to communities to fight hunger and ensure food security. He has helped farmers add value to their cassava by advising them to sell flour instead of raw cassava, which initiative has improved household income for the whole people in his area. He has constructed energy-saving stoves for all the blind in the district of Jinja. He planted trees at all health center tools in Buwenge Rural, answering the call for sustainable environmental protection. He is a pillar in sustainable socio-economic development despite his disability. Next is Sister Mwangale Mubeke Robina. She's a senior health educator by profession. During the response to Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever virus and COVID pandemic in Jinja, she was the first to visit hotspots of the epidemic. She aired messages on how to manage diarrhea among the under 5 years, which contribute to the reduction in morbidity and mortality in the Greater Busoga region. Next is Mr. Frank Kalimuzo. May his soul rest in peace. Mr. Kalimuzo was the first Vice-Chancellor of Makerere University, appointed on July 1st, 1970 for a 5-year term. A revered civil servant, Kalimuzo was Uganda's first permanent secretary and head of civil service, soon after independence until July 1st, 1970. As a Vice-Chancellor, Kalimuzo mentored and helped many lecturers like Supreme Court Justice George William Kanyayamba, who were targets of the regime then. However, Kalimuzo never survived the henchmen of the regime then. He was killed while in service to the people of Uganda. Next is Golapali Nagamohana Rao. He is the chairman, Indian Association of Uganda. He came to Uganda in 1997. He has established a chain of businesses in Uganda like Gromo Seeds and Chemical Limited, among others. He's engaged in socio-economic services like research, production, importation, distribution of quality vegetables, and field crop seeds, as well as agricultural chemical fertilizers, and very many other investments estimated at a tune of $7.5 million US. He has contributed tremendously to our development agenda for attaining the Vision 2040 by adding value to agricultural products and creation of employment opportunities to many Ugandans working in his group of companies. Your Excellency, during the COVID pandemic outbreak, he mobilized over 3.5 billion Uganda shillings from the Indian business community towards Your Excellency's effort to fight the spread of the pandemic and donated 22 double-cabin pickups. Next is Dr. Stephen Birungi. Birungi is a veterinary doctor. He's a lay reader in the Kirika Church of Uganda Parish, who has unified the parish and mobilized them to start building one of the biggest and most modern cathedrals in eastern Uganda on a self-help basis. This cathedral will also have a modern adult training center as annex to impart skills to Ugandans. He worked with the Dutch to set up a factory, the first ever of its kind in East and Central Africa, to manufacture veterinary medicines in the country. Your Excellency, the very last in this category is none other than Onyach Onechimo Oyo. May his soul rest in peace. Onechimo Oyo was born way back in 1917 in Koro Abiliguru district. He was a grade 3 magistrate of Chitugum and Kasese districts from 1963 to 1976. He was the founder of the Scouts movement in Acholi sub-region, aiming at developing the youth into self-reliant citizens who are acceptable in every community. He promoted interreligious denomination unity among Muslims, Protestants, Catholics, and traditionalists in the year 1940. While on the Amnesty Commission, he persuaded the LRA rebels to surrender to the government and supported the RDC of Gulu district, then the late Omoro Justin, in this endeavor. Your Excellency, that marks the end of the awardees in the category of the National Independence Medal.
Well, a very good afternoon as we celebrate this year's NRM Day, the 26th of January 2022, and of course this being one of those celebrations. And on this particular day here, we've seen General Igumba do what his predecessors, General Eli Tumwena, used to do as the Master of Ceremonies of the Chancery before General Ivan Koreta, who was there. And now it is General Igumba doing that. To also just let you know that this is one of the very few times in the last about 2 or 3 years that we've seen the medals being awarded. The last time we saw such an event was still in 2020. The last event that the government organized and we saw awards being given out was on a Women's Day in Mbali, Maluku, on the 8th of March 2020 when we saw that. But to just also remind you, the medals, especially the Golden Jubilee medals, were first given out on the 27th anniversary of the National Resistance Movement, which was held in Nyakasanga, in Nyamwamba, in Kasese. That particular day, it wasn't celebrated on the 26th of January. There was a postponement to 30th January, and the government said it will do that event on that particular day, which happened in Kasese. Now, to just let you know, they've awarded 50 medalists today in 4 categories, but the very first awards that we saw in 2013, of course, which involved the Golden Jubilee medals. There were 3,500 medalists and 6 religious leaders who I remember very well. The Archbishop Mpala Nyinkoyo, now gone, Emmanuel Cardinal Wamala, Dr. Joseph Serada, Sheikh Rajab Kakoza was then Director of Sharia at the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, and the Metropolitan John Arwanga of the Orthodox Church, who is also now gone, and Pastor Dr. John Kakembo, who was leader of the Seventh-day Adventist Union at that time. And those were the maiden recipients of the Golden Jubilee Awards. But of course, awards have been given out. And to also just remember Businge Amotu, who was the Chancellor for quite a long time, since 2008 until the time he died about 2 years ago. The Chancellor now is led by Hajat Malore Zamima, and this is now a new team, but of course the technical team in that department is still doing a very good job. Now, we have had 2 years of disruption, the entire year of 2020 and 2021, when such events were organized. They were organized scientifically, virtually, and there wasn't this liberty of giving out awards. So the awards ceremonies have actually excited so many people here, as you can see, and this hasn't been happening. Like I told you, the last time we saw this happening was in 2020 in Malukumbale on Women's Day when we celebrated that. We also welcome now the new Master of Ceremonies of the Chancery, General Igumba, who takes over from General Ivan Koreta.
Your Excellency, the next category, which has only one awardee, is the Nalubale Medal. Section 3.2, second schedule, part 1.6 of the National Honors and Awards Act of 2001, the National Medal is awarded to all civilian activities who have activists who have contributed towards the political development of Uganda, either through armed struggles or civil disobedience, and otherwise, right from colonial times to date. And the awardee is none other than Haj Issa Mbago. Haj Issa Mbago was born on 15th January 1951. He is now aged 70 years. He supported the liberation struggle in the 1980s through giving some assistance in the form of food to the late Haj Sekindi Bugomola, who then took it to the camps. He was among those who helped soldiers who camped in Bigasa, Mukoma, Simbi, in directing them with the routes leading to Katonga during the struggle. He also helped in collecting the guns that were being kept by the citizens and took them back to the detachment center. Your Excellency, I present Haj Issa Mbago for the fourth opportunity. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, remaining only two categories. One for Luero Triangle, which has only 4 names, and the police one, which has 16. I'll just read the names without citations, Your Excellency. Next category, Your Excellency, are 4 UPDF officers for the award of the Royal Triangle Medal, which is the medal used as the climax of the armed struggles of the people of Uganda. It is awarded to any civilians who operated closely with armed freedom fighters during struggles against dictatorship. And the 4 are RO 11063 Major Sadi Katongole. Next is ROV 2232 Lieutenant Godfrey Chofna. Next is ROV 002240 Lieutenant Musa Cheyune. And the last in this category is RA 00303 Sergeant Nyakato Grace. May her soul rest in peace. Your Excellency, the last category, comprising of 16 police officers, is the award of the Special Service Police Medal, which is awarded to police officers of the Reserve Force and Special Police Constabularies who have distinguished themselves during their period of engagement. And on the list, I have SPC Subuga Hannington, SPC Kahare Paul, SPC Matov Joseph, SPC Sisi Muhindakazi, SPC Waniroth Anna, SPC Waja Ismail, SPC Serubiri Yusuf, SPC Lweje David, SPC Teng Christopher, SPC Mumbia Muhammad, SPC Biogezi Abdallah, SPC Watua Ramadan, SPC Waswa Tanasi, SPC Kiza David, SPC Sabwe John, and SPC Sharita Richard. Your Excellency, that marks the end of my presentation. I do thank you for your kind attention and patience for God and my country.
Your Excellency, we would like to request you to enjoy the cultural performance, at least 2 items by the Ukraine performers. They're going to give us a presentation which shows actually the journey that Uganda has moved up to independence, then afterwards, now, this dispensation. The Ukraine performers, Your Excellency.
Very many thanks, Crane performers, for that beautiful entertainment. Your Excellency and distinguished invited guests, may I request that we now all rise for the anthems. Parade Commander, over to you, sir.
Welcome. Ready up. Mheshimiwa Rais, huo ndio mwisho wa gwaride. Naomba kutoa bendera uwanjani, Mheshimiwa Rais.
Distinguished guests, we may resume our seats, please. Thank you. The parade commander has requested for and secured permission from His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief to march the colors of the parade ground. That's what will happen now.
Bendera uwanjani. Stand up!
Distinguished guests, that is the honor always awarded to the national colors. The command of the color party ensures that they are handed back to the military police for safe custody.
President, kwa madaraka.
With that, Your Excellency and distinguished guests, the parade commander now hands back the command of the parade to the second in command, who will march the parade off the square. Thank you very much, Colonel Armstrong Gunduga. Very good performance for the day. Now, second in command, Lieutenant Colonel Betty Msoya will proceed with marching the parade off the square.
Your Excellency, we normally have the female officers command the parade when it is International Women's Day. But today, we have had the second in command who is a female officer on a day like this. But Independence and other occasions like on this occasion, it is normally the male officers. But today, the second in command is a female officer. We thank you, Your Excellency, for granting us even that opportunity. Your Excellency. Then there will come a demonstration by the band depicting our love for our president. Because of our love for our president, normally we abbreviate his name with M7K. M7 Museveni and then K Kaguta. They are going to put up a performance which is going to bring up those letters. M will be done by UPDF, the UPDF band. Then 7 will be done by the police band. Then K by the prisons band. Please enjoy yourselves. Your Excellency, enjoy yourself.
Your Excellency and invited guests, as you can see, the APDF band has now formed letter M. And now we see the police band forming figure 7 for M7. Then equally, the Uganda Prison Service Band will form letter K with an interesting initiative.
Your Excellency, I would like to invite the Director of Ceremonies, the Minister for the Presidency, to come and conclude the function. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, at this juncture, we shall say Ebenezer. Thus far, God has helped us. The journey is still long, and we still trust you to continue leading us on this journey. Thank you, Your Excellency.
lino eri abanaffe abakristo ebigambo bino kale byonna enteekateeka yakulaba nga
ekitongole ekivunaanyizibwa ku bibalo mu ggwanga ekya Wobosi mu mwaka ogwa 2019 abantu abakola ebitundu 12 n'obutundu bunaku
mu Nabuddo kyayita Equity kale
Wobosi mu mwaka ogwa 2019 abantu abakola ebitundu 12
era bye bamala olwanyirira
nabo ya 442 yatujuka batandise n'obuzibu obwokubanga abasambi baabwe abasinga obungi mu tests ezalwaniddwa balagiddwa nti balina COVID-19.
Kulekao kuno mukwano ze kwendese paka bukadde kukaliba bali tuwalulirako Ronnie Dadon TNS Shibami Bon Ronnie Dadon TNS Please tell me
Your Excellency, on behalf of the invited guests and all Ugandans, I take the honor to thank you for an elaborate and informative speech you have delivered to the people of Uganda. Sir, your message has been received by all Ugandans here and abroad through the live broadcast on radio, television, and social media, sir.
Sub-Confederation ya Nafu oba North